but they poured me off the plane in Amarillo, 'cause I forgot I'm not drinking anymore. Well, sometimes life's a lesson learned the hard way.
I began my music career at age 5. I started with piano and was trained classically. And when I was 13, my dad bought me a guitar and I started playing guitar. And I was in New York. I went to school very young. I was 16 when I went to college. And back in those days, in the olden days, somebody came to my dorm room and said, hey, I want to make a record. So I actually went into New York and did a demo tape for Bobby Darin. And he signed me. And I was signed with a publishing deal with Bobby Darin at Chapel Music when I was 19 years old. So I stayed in the music business, but when Bobby Darin died unexpectedly at age 35 or 36, he was a young man, I was left without protection kind of in New York, and I didn't have a mentor. And in those days in New York, it was difficult for women. Just ask Madonna. She'll tell you. And so I ended up leaving the city, moving back down to Virginia, wanting to stay a couple of weeks, and ended up living there for 25 years, having my children, and came to Warrenton back in 2001 and became a children's musician. So I performed for kids around here and in the Washington area for years and years, worked with a lot of kids in the Montessori environment, developed a lot of programs for children. But a few years ago, as my kids were getting older and I had some personal changes in my life, I decided I want to go back in the grown-up music business. So I called in some favors and put together a CD. This was a few years ago. And it went kind of well, and I was nominated for a Whammy, a Washington Area Music Award, for my CD Been There. And I thought, maybe I can do this. So I made another CD, and then now this one, Home Divas, is my new effort. And it's actually the first really fully produced, fully out there record nationally. So this is my big sort of debut back in the music scene.
I really thought I had it all together. Packed my bags and headed for the door, but they poured me off the plane in Amarillo, 'cause I forgot that I'm not drinking anymore.
So really my goal today, being an older person in the business, is to get my work out to a larger audience, to support young artists who are coming up, and especially women, because I'm all about supporting women in the music business. There aren't many of us. And to make sure that as many people as possible get to hear what I'm doing and appreciate the work that acoustic artists are doing these days.
Changing is